Brock's cleared and ready to go. He's been cleared. He's going to be without restrictions. Now, having said that, we're sticking and we're adhering to a plan that's been put in place for some time. And he got after it the last couple days. We upped his pitch count, so it was kind of the peak of the buildup. And so he'll take off day one. And but we believe in that plan. So he's cleared without restriction. There will be some time off, due to pitch count and all that, sticking to the plan. But the great news is Brock has worked his tail off and he's ready to go.
I always thought in my mind, just so I wouldn't be disappointed, it would take a few weeks in camp. But he always looked like he would be ready because you didn't see any setbacks. And just talking to other guys, that's how it ended up. And watching it on our own, I thought it would go that way. But you don't really say that. You wait to hear it from Brock. And to get back and talk to him last week and just to hear how he felt just mentally and being able to see physically, he's ready to go. So I'm pumped.
There's a key caveat to what John Lynch had to say. Brock Purdy, the 49ers quarterback, the last man taken in the 2022 draft, the QB3 who became the future potentially for the 49ers, he's cleared without restriction, except for the restrictions we're placing upon him that he's going to have days off. He's not going to throw for 3 days in a row for a few weeks. So there are restrictions on his overall workload as they get him ready. But when he does throw, he'll be able to throw however he would have before he had that elbow injury in the NFC Championship. So that's good news. And look, it would have been alarming if he wasn't ready. But because he had that injury, and I think that's where it hurt the most for the 49ers, apart the fact that it squandered their opportunity to get to the Super Bowl because they arguably were the better team than the Eagles when they were on the field together that day. And there's so many 49ers still salty about the fact that they could have won that game if they would have had a quarterback. Now you have to kind of hold your breath and see if Brock Purdy is going to be the new Jimmy G in San Francisco, where it's always going to be something. There's always going to be an injury. When you least expect it, expect it. And I think that's what made it hurt so bad, because it felt like we finally found a guy who's going to avoid the injury bug. And here we go, biggest stage so far of the year, he gets injured, Chris.
Yeah, no, that's right. I mean, it in some ways, just sometimes you go, damn, are they just cursed at this position? I mean, what the hell? At least that's how I feel as a friend of Shanahan and rooting for the 49ers because of him and John Lynch and all of that. But this is great news. It is, yeah. I'm happy to see it. They're being smart. They're not going to wear him out, and start issues. Hey, just continue to get it in shape, get it feeling, the way it should be. I know it's full systems go, but I'm sure he doesn't feel, still as good, as clean, mechanically, the ball coming out of your hand, the feel, all of that. I'm sure that's not where it was leading up to the NFC Championship game. So that's going to take some work too. And that's why you want to take it slow, because you don't want the guy to, wait, I'm not throwing the ball as hard as I used to. Let me start throwing it harder and harder and harder. And then they're doing things mechanically wrong. Then, now you have tendonitis in the elbow or something else. So they're going to be careful that way. But good for Brock Purdy, good for the Niners. And, hey, Brock Purdy, like we always joke about here, hey, he's the man. He did good, but there's a poker on his ass. He knows that. He sees his team, they put quarterbacks in and they just win all the time, no matter what, in a lot of ways. He knows they're good. He's been seeing Sam Darnold in the spring. He's going, damn, Sam can do some stuff here. There's a reason he was a top 5 pick. So I'm sure he's itching to get out there to reclaim his spot and make sure that spot is his all year long.
And the vibe definitely coming from the team is that Sam Darnold is QB2,
yes.
Trey Lance is
right.
QB3, and they intend to keep him around because last year QB3 became QB1. It will be very interesting, though. I was on with Rich Eisen yesterday, and we kind of ended up in this territory, the idea of another team having a serious injury to a quarterback in training camp preseason. Doesn't happen very often. Happened with Teddy Bridgewater 7 years ago. Team becomes desperate and goes out looking for a replacement. Would the 49ers part with Trey Lance? And I assume it would be based on how much they would give up, and then they would just find another QB3 and just go forward if they could get a significant return for the guy that they ultimately invested 3 first-round picks and a third-round pick to get in 2021. And I just hope he gets a chance at some point. I hope he gets a chance to play and develop before his NFL career just kind of passes him by and he's lost and forgotten.
Yeah, we're in he's in danger of that right now. You know, the scenario you're explaining. You know, because here it is. We've talked about it. You know, there's things about his game he obviously needs to work on. He hasn't played enough football, and here he may go another year, you know, of not playing much football unless things fall right for him. You know, and that's where, yeah, it's tough. And nobody, I think, to what you bring up, I don't think anybody would trade anything significant for him. You know, they've seen some of the issues in preseason football. You know, the concerns are common knowledge around the NFL about Trey Lance and whatever it is there. And the fact that he's QB3 right now for the 49ers, that speaks volumes to the rest of the NFL, too, to go, wait, why would we trade anything significant if he's the third guy on that team? And like you said, they traded away 3 first-round picks to get him. So, you know, I think he's just going to have to keep working and hope that he gets his chance somehow, some way.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.